That's how you decide to make it, good or bad. All right. So Celine, we have spring break not this week but next week.
Next week.
So like this coming week, next Tuesday, Thursday's class, no problem. But then the week after that, spring break, and we have to have a midterm.
Before, right?
Ow.
Well, that's our choice. We can choose. Do we want to do it before spring break or after spring break?
I say before.
Yeah.
That way we,
Yeah.
get the test done and go to spring break. Unless you want to study during spring break. I don't.
What do you think, Celine?
You're right.
Yeah, because then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then if you don't, like, let's say you get busy or you just forget or you just blow it off, then you come back like Tuesday after spring break and it's like, oh, I don't remember this.
Because if you do it after, I'm be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Or
Right.
I'll study tomorrow. And
Right.
then it's gonna be Sunday, and it's gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then you're freaked out about it, and right. So let's do it this way. So
Exactly.
so that's what I think. So we'll do it a week from today, Thursday.
And that way we'll have everything, in the mind right now. Because if we
Right.
wait a whole week, I'll probably forget a lot of it.
Right. Okay. So on your midterm, you want to know what's on your midterm?
Sure.
Everything. So it's your first quiz. The topic's on quiz number 1.
Everything that we covered.
Yeah, which is like linear equations mostly, right? Inequalities. We're going to do some today. We have these things this is what we're going to learn how to do today. And they're called compound inequalities. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn how to do today. That's on there too. And then what we did last time was function stuff.
Yeah.
Okay? And we'll do the function stuff. It's going to be pretty straightforward. Yeah, so that's what we did on Tuesday, right? Yeah? Yeah, functions. So like, you have cubic functions, square functions, absolute value. And then like I'd give you a T-chart.
Yeah.
Plug in the
and
numbers.
if you have, some questions or
Yeah? What is it?
I mean, were we just supposed to pick any numbers?
Um,
Because I did one.
yeah, you
with,
could.
with the numbers that you gave us,
Yeah.
and then I did another one with just some random numbers.
Okay.
I'm pretty close to get like 4 2s.
Yeah, you could use it. Random numbers are fine. On the quiz, if I have you do something like
But I didn't feel like it was the right way though.
yeah, you don't get the whole shape. Like the tricky thing is,
Exactly. I didn't get a shape that I was like, okay.
yeah,
With the one that I did on my.
I'm sure the numbers are right. It's just hard to see how the shape fits, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I was saying, like for the T-charts, I'll give you the numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. Like for right now, with what you guys know, I'll give you the numbers.
But other than that, after that, I mean, I pretty much
Pretty good.
got it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what I needed to do. But
Yeah.
it's
Just plug it in and then see how to draw that shape, right? Yeah. So, okay. And I've had such a stressful day, I can't even remember what was on the first quiz. I know linear equations.
Oh, I have it here.
I can't remember what else was on there. Do we have exponents?
No.
No?
We
learned it, but we didn't have them on there, right?
Inequalities.
Yeah, inequalities, yeah.
Slope.
Oh, that's right. So given like a point and a slope or given a graph, write the
and
equation.
then, slope intercept.
Yeah.
And then.
So we're gonna have a little bit of that stuff, like there, on the test. So I think if I remember right, Ernesto, you were dividing when you should have subtracted. Right? That's okay. You know what? That's just like, it sounds kind of silly, but that's just part of learning. Like you got to make the mistake, and then you're like, oh yeah, I got it now. There's no big deal. Because you could watch me do it forever, and it doesn't make. You got to make your own mistake. Yeah. All right, Celine. So those are the quiz, and then what we've been doing since. So function stuff. Let's see, what else did we do? We did functions. We did parallel and perpendicular lines, which is really related to that graph stuff also. And yeah, okay. This is what we got today. And it's really similar to inequalities from before. Let me find it in the book real quick, okay? I know, Celine, this might make you sad, but we might have a short lesson today.
Oh, no.
Would that make you sad?
Yeah.
Really?
Really, Celine?
Celine, it was such a crazy day. Like, I wasn't scared at all. Like, and I'm not saying I was brave. I mean, I really wasn't scared.
I got scared because the principal called me.
Right.
And she said, can you pick it up your child again, because we have problems here in the school, and maybe the members are in dangerous. What? Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, they said the wrong. They said it wrong.
The police and the deputy said, no, it's not. We don't have serious problems. Everybody's
yeah, they miscommunicated.
Rumors and blah 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 blah. And I said, what? I don't
See, that's what I mean. I bet if you listen to the message again, it's what they said is different than what you heard, because they said wrong words. They said buzzwords. Everybody's sensitive around the Florida shooting, so all you hear is shooting, and you're like, what? And because in reality, if there was a school shooting, the worst thing to do would be to go to the school. That would be the worst thing, because then you would get in the way of the people that would be trying to fix it, and then you're also a potential target. Because you can't, if there's a school shooting, what are you going to do? You can get shot. That's it. So, so they said the wrong things, and I hope they learn. I mean, I feel bad for the principal, because she was talking just yesterday. She was telling us how much stress there is, because she's responsible for the safety of about 1,400 people. And so when something goes bad, she's like, oh my God, I wouldn't even know what I would do if I was the principal in Florida, because I would feel guilty for all of that.
When I went to school, she said the difference.
Yeah.
She said, everybody, millions of students are in classroom.
Yeah. Everything was fine.
You call me. Call me.
I know. Everything was fine.
I'm going to take my daughter from here. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything was fine. So it was just a miscommunication, and then everybody was sensitive, and then, like when you get inequalities, there we go, spelled it right. When people get nervous, then they just react. And then,
That's where it got for her.
So they were nervous, and then they made the parents nervous, and then some of the teachers got nervous, and then some of the students there got nervous, and then everybody was getting all freaked out.
Later, the things turns worse later on.
Really?
When I left the school.
Yeah.
Around 10 or 9:30.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was because I saw it in the media.
Yeah. But yeah, there was nothing. It was just blown out of proportion.
I'm glad everything's okay.
Yeah, no, there was never even anything. There was nothing. And that kind of thing happens all the time at all schools. Because kids are dumb. Kids say stuff. Like, they just do it for attention and to make people get upset. And it just was really good timing for whoever did it. Like, and so, so it was stressful trying to, like, make all the kids, like, just...
Because you probably had to explain it in each class, right?
Well, what I told them, I always tell them, oh man, I'm sorry your parents don't love you. They left you here in this dangerous place. So I just do it with humor, and they'd laugh, and then they'd start feeling better, and then we just talk about it.
And my daughter, she was worried about her friends at school.
Yeah, there's nothing to worry about. In fact, it turned out that they're probably safer there than at your house. Because they had the SWAT team there, they had all the police there, they had everybody there. Yeah. Right, there was nothing going to go wrong there. Yeah.
Did not know that.
So yeah, it was a weird day. I'm tired. But and also, you know what? I would never cut something short just because I was tired. It's also, this is the only thing. I don't want to put on 2 things today to be on your midterm, because I want to make sure we got it.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. So if you remember, open circle goes with those 2 symbols, right? And it's not equal.
Oh,
right? We don't actually say not equal. What we actually say is we say less than, and that's this symbol right here. And then the other one's greater than, and that's this symbol right here. And Celine, if I remember right, you would sometimes mix up which way the line would go, because you would try to use this to tell you which way the line goes. But this doesn't point to the way the line goes. For example, this one right here, let's say this says 5 is greater than x. This one, it's pointing right, but that's not the way the arrows. No, because look, it says 5. Here's in words, this says 5 is, I'm going to write the words more instead of greater. 5 is more than x. That means x is less than 5. Well, what? Did you yawn or sneeze?
Yeah, I was gonna sneeze, but I held.
Oh, I hate that.
And then she did the same thing.
So Celine, when we draw a graph, we have to draw a picture of all the answers that would be true for this. All the numbers for x that are smaller than 5. So 5 is bigger, so that would look like this. So let's say this is 5. Now it's going to be a circle. Yeah? Now the numbers that are less than the numbers that are less than 5, or would be like 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And those numbers are all over here. Like this is 6. X cannot be 6, because 6 is not less than 5. Do you see what I mean? You have to read it. That's not a shortcut to tell you which way the arrow goes. You have to read it. So it goes this way. Because this is 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you see what I mean?
Oh my God.
Do you understand now? Or no?
No.
No? Well, wait, I think you just have to make sense of what this means. You have to give yourself a chance to understand. Right.
Pues 5 es más grande que el X. X no puede ser 6, porque 6 está más grande. Entonces es todos los números de allá.
So, yeah. X. Right. That's what this means. So another way to say that is that x is smaller than 5. Right. It's like saying I'm taller than you. Or you could say that the other way. That you're shorter than me. It means the same. So this one, it's like that. This says 5 is bigger than x, which is the same.
Is less.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You see now?
O sea, hazle la boquita. Siempre se va a comer el número más grande.
It's hungry. It's hungry. Okay. And you also remember this, right? There we go. This is or equal to. And so I think I know what the problem is actually, Celine. I think when you see this, you don't read what it means in your head, because the words have the idea. Mm-hmm. And I think when you read this, you don't use the words. And it doesn't matter if it's in English or Spanish, you're not using the words, so then there's not the idea. And then you're looking for what to do instead of what it means. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think. I'm really good at being wrong. You ask my wife. Like an expert at being wrong. Yeah. But I'm really good at taking mice out of the mouse trap. I'm good at that. That's like my job. killing spiders. If there's something at night outside,
You gotta go.
that's my job. Right.
Right.
Something up high or a jar is stuck, like you can't open a jar, that's what I'm good for. That's really about it.
I'm getting stuff off the top shelf.
Right, yeah, get it off the top shelf. If something needs to get built, oh yeah, my wife would be like looking at a magazine. Oh, this looks really cute. We should build that.
I know.
Like, yeah, we.
Yeah,
Like,
you
we.
always say we.
Right. Yeah, the other day she's like, we should cook this over spring break. And she, like, we both cook, but there's things that I cook she doesn't
Yeah,
cook.
see,
And this was one of mine. She's like, we should cook this. It's like if I said we should make a cake. I can make a cake, but I can't make like a cake like she makes.
I know.
I had a piece yesterday. Oh my
You
god.
had some?
So in between, so there's like layers and they're chocolate. In between was like this chocolate mousse with raspberries in between. It was good. It was good. Oh, yeah. I was like, oh man. I just had a little piece, but it was good. All right. So this was just to refresh our memory, right? Now the way you draw the graph for this is the same as this. The only difference is the circle, if it's filled in like here, that means that it's a number. So like, for example, let's do this one again. So this says 5 is more than or equal to. That's what that says. So then that means that x could be 5 or 4, 3, 2, 1, ... It could be any of those. But here, x can't be 5. Because 5 isn't less than 5.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So x can't be 5 here, but x could be 5 here. And that's what that circle, that's what the, like on the graph, when you fill it in, that's what that means.
Because you're putting it on the 5.
That's right.
That's what I was getting. I didn't know it was a circle.
Yeah. So the circle means that it could be 5. The circle means, the solid dot means it could be 5. The circle means it goes all the way up to 5, but 5 is not part of the answer. All right. And then let's see. Last thing, because this is not like you might have forgotten this, but this isn't the new part, right? And these are actually the things that get tricky. The new part's not really that tricky. It's this stuff. It's always the basics that are tricky. Always the basics that are tricky. So the other basic was when you're solving, everything's the same. Like this would be everything would be the same, just like it was an equal sign, right? So like your steps between solving this one and compared to solving this one, the same. Nothing different. You would add 2 and then you would divide by 3. Nothing different. But this, so these would be the same steps. This would be different. These are not the same. Because like this one, you're still going to subtract 2. And you would get, you'd subtract 2 and you get negative 3x equals 5. And then you would divide by negative 3. You get a fraction, but no big deal, right? But when you divide, like here we divided by a negative. When you divide by a negative, you have to change the sign. Because it's the opposite. Negative means opposite. And so all the answers get like, they're opposite. So here's what I'm saying. When you subtract 2, nothing changes. That's fine. But now with our next step, we're going to divide by negative 3.
Yeah.
And when you divide, or multiply by negative, you got to flip the sign. So then our answer is going to actually be x is less than negative 5/3.
Oh, man.
That flips. So you divide or multiply by a negative, that flips around.
Well, yeah, because that would be 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Positive.
Correct. Yeah,
X,
negative.
X would be positive 1, so you got to know that sign is no longer true. You got to switch it.
Yeah, you got to flip it. You got to flip it. So you got to flip it. Divide or multiply by a negative, flip the sign. Yeah. That's the only other thing that's tricky. That one's easier to remember. Like, either you remember or you forget. These you can mix up. Like, these you can get confused with. But this one you'll either remember or not. Like, it might be confusing why, but either you're going to do it, or you're not going to do it. This you can understand, and you can still get confused. Like, yeah, this stuff right here, you can understand that and mess it up. I mess these up. I understand that really well. I understand totally, and I can still mess up. This I might forget, but that's it. Either you remember or you forget. So not too bad. All right. We have two kinds we're going to do today. We have two kinds of graphs we're going to do today. A harder kind and a harder kind. Not really. Not really. We have two kinds we're going to do today. Jeez. We have and inequalities. We also have or inequalities. Celine, do you know what this kind of an or is? Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you know what that kind of an or is? It's like a boat paddle.
Oh, okay.
Like if you're sitting in a boat and you want to row the boat, like you don't have a motor, they stick out the sides. And the reason I say that is because the graphs for these look like that.
Like oars.
Yeah, they stick out. Whereas the and, they might be circles or they might be dots. We don't really know, right? But they're going to be on the inside like this. This is and this is or. So your answer is going to look like that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm looking at the problems in our book, and a lot of the times when it's an or problem, it tells you it's an or. Like it tells you the word or. It'll give you the two problems and it'll say or. And sometimes it says and, sometimes not. But when it's and, it's one big long thing. It's going to have and is going to have one problem. Okay? But it's going to have two inequalities. And with, that means with, right? With x in the middle. And you're going to keep x in the middle. I'll show you what it means in a minute. And then here, with the or, you're going to have two problems. Straight up, just two problems. So if you have one problem, two inequalities, it's and. Two problems, it's or. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say we had, let's just pick one out of the book. Let's say negative 8 is less than or equal to, oh, this one's nasty. No, it's not. This is bad. This is all right.
What page are you on?
197. This is an and. Do you see, Celine? This is one problem, right? Mm-hmm. But it has two inequalities, one here and one there, and the x is in the middle. That's going to be and. The graph is going to look like this. We can handle this. It's no big deal. I got your back. Don't worry. Way back, but I got your back. Don't worry. We got this. Yeah. And or would look something like this, though.
Oh, an or.
Yeah, see? And those are going to look like this. And don't, oh man. You know, in math, sometimes weird things happen. We're going to work really hard to make sure, like sometimes these ors can get weird and they can turn into looking like an and. Like the graph can look like that, but we're going to try to make sure they stay like this for right now until we get more comfortable. We don't want to do the weird stuff right away. We want to make sure we got the foundation. So, Celine, which one do you want to do first? And? Or?
Yeah.
And? Let's do it to it then. You know what? It's Thursday. Why not? Let's just do this. Okay, so check this out. We're going to do the and, right? You see how the x is in the middle?
Yeah.
So here's when we're done.
Okay.
We're done when you have a number, x in the middle by itself. Do you see what I mean? Like we're going to have a number is less than. It could be or equal to. Like this one's equal to, right? So don't. But it's going to be a number, x in the middle, less than another number. So we got to get x by itself. We need to get x by itself. That thing right there has got to be all by its lonesome. And we're going to do it with inverse operations. Now, Ernesto, you know how if we're solving an equation, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other? Well, here we have three sides.
Yeah.
So we have to do it to all three sides. So we're going to get rid of the 3 first. But instead of just adding 3 to two sides, we have to add 3 everywhere. Yeah.
Why choose the 3 first? Because of the minor number?
Because of when you're solving, you have to do the order of operations backwards. No, it's because it's adding and this one's multiplying. When you're doing order of operations, when you're solving, you have to do the order of operations backwards. You have to add or subtract first. Because you're doing everything backwards. So we have to add 3 to that to make that 0. And so then you're left with negative 5 less than or equal to 5x less than or equal to 7. These almost always have fractions as your answer too. Do you understand why we added 3 first? Yeah? Now we're going to divide by 5. So we added 3.
Because you're multiplying.
Yeah, because it's 5 times, and we want to get x by itself, so we want that to be 1x. So the way we make 5x into 1x is we just divide by 5. But if we do it to one part, we have to do it to all of the parts. So this is negative 1. Less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 7 over 5.
Now, the sides here aren't going to change, so we're not going to flip them.
Mm-mm.
You got to be careful on that.
It doesn't matter that this one's negative. If this one was negative, then yes, we'd have to switch everything. And then it would be all backwards, and we'd have to like turn it all around so we wouldn't confuse ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So the graph, here's what the graph's going to look like.
Oh, we got a graph.
Oh yeah, why not? It's a math party here, right? This place is, we're lit. This is lit. This party's on fire. All right, check it out. That's negative 1, and this is 7 over 5, which is like a little past 1. 7 over 5 is 1 and 2/5. So it's almost 1.5. Okay, now, do you see this?
Yeah.
Circle. Solid dot. Solid dot.
Solid.
Solid dot. See? Both. They won't always be both the same. Sometimes one can be one and the other can be the other, you know? So just whatever it says, that's what you do. Okay? X is in the middle. Like, 0 would be true, because Negative 1 is less than 0, and 0 is less than 7/5. So it's in the middle. So this is what you do right there.
Oh.
You see, that's why I said they look like this. They look like that.
You literally have to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because where you're drawing your line, you're saying this is where all the answers are. Everything that's more than this and everything that's less than that. Yep. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ernesto, you also understand, like, this example, these both happen to be or equal to, but they could be, one could be this and the other could be that. You just got to be careful with it. Same on these. These are both the same, like the same symbol, like not equal to, but they could be one of each. Now this one's going to look like this. And it kind of makes sense because look, this says that x is less than something, and this one says x is more than something. This way is less, and this way is more. So that's why they look like that. And is in the middle. So let's solve both of these. Let's see. You do them separately. You do them like it's two problems. So you do this one by itself, and then you do that one by itself. But then you put them both on the same graph. So two problems. So let's see, we're going to subtract 7 first. And that gives us negative 20. I hope. Yeah. Subtract 7 from both sides, because that's 0, that's negative 20. And then divide by 2. Divide by 2. X is less than negative 10. Whoa. Celine, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, now the other one's the same thing. Oh, what's up, Ernesto?
You need. Oh, okay, you can do it already.
Yeah, I haven't done this one yet. We're going to do it next.
Just the 5x, you didn't subtract nothing from the 5.
Yeah, I haven't done this. Yeah, it's like two problems.
No, I'm talking about the other one.
Yeah, we haven't done it yet. But what happens here has nothing to do with this one.
Okay.
Like here, they're all connected, but here it's not.
Okay.
So you do like this is one problem, you finish it, then you do the other. And then put it all on the same graph. So here, everything at once, here separately. So this,
Go ahead.
is that okay so far? 10?
Yeah.
So.
And then 2?
Yeah.
And then that's or, you see? So x is either going to be smaller than this or it's going to be more than that. So let's do our graph. Whoa, got all that schwecko. Negative 10, 2. Got to be careful. Circle or dot? Circle's open.
Circle.
Circles?
Both of them.
Circle.
Circle. X is less than 10, like negative 11, negative 12, negative 13. That's that way. X is more than 2, like 3 is more than 2. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That way. See? It's like a boat. The oars are sticking out the side.
Oh, wait.
What happened?
I connected them. I went.
Oh, yeah, that would be an and.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be and.
Jump.
So what's tricky about these?
For me, it would be. It's always been, is it a dot or is it a circle?
Right. Yeah, right, yeah. So, circle.
But I mean,
Dot.
yeah.
Because this means it's not equal, but this means it could be equal, and the dot means like, hey, that number is part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So equals.
Yeah.
Equal to can equal to that number that you.
So that's still the same thing as before. That's confusing. That you're messed that. Like before, you had trouble with that. I remember on the quiz, like you get one right, one wrong, one right, one wrong with the dots, right?
Yeah.
Like you were guessing. What about you, Celine? What's tricky about this for you? Nothing.
For now.
For now.
She has.
So the solving's all good.
Everything.
All 100.
I see.
Dang.
For now.
For now. Not all siempre. Not like,
Not the same as in
not always.
not always.
All right.
Not always the same case.
Right. Well, the nice thing about these is they're almost, as for this class especially, they're going to be like this. It's going to be, and is going to be like this, and or is going to be like that. So it's pretty straightforward.
Right.
Bye, Joel. It's going to be pretty straightforward. All right. So let's try one of each, okay? Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. So, so the algebra right here might get kind of weird, huh? So that's number 1. Número 2.